meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so we're being recorded. So we'll give it just a couple of minutes because I know, it's Monday and a lot of people have stuff going on. And then we'll dive in.
I was just going to say, we have art and gift market money that hasn't been allocated yet.
Okay.
So that really is something that I think the missions committee would be very happy to put towards this if needed.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was telling Sally that we have had so many people who, we've had people outside our church community of people who are like, I'm not even a believer, but I believe in what you guys are doing with these refugees. And it's been astounding. I mean, it's been just such a statement of God's love and how the Holy Spirit is ebbing and flowing in just such amazing ways. People are coming together to just love on these people and provide safe space for them that have been through so much. So it's super exciting. Yeah. So I'm very, very, very excited for these families to get here, and we have our first family, so it's amazing.
I don't know name right now. Okay.
Oh, okay. No, but
okay.
Is Sandra coming? Do y'all know?
She is not able to join us this evening, so that's one of the reasons we're taping the meeting for her.
Why can't I make this work on my speakers?
An American Legion meeting. So, but I told her I would take good notes and then tape the meeting for her. So, so I'm going to go ahead and open with a word of prayer, and then we'll just dive in, if that's okay. Great, let's pray. Gracious God, we are so thankful that the time has come for us to have a family and just to prepare the safe space for them. God, we just ask that you go before us in all of our endeavors. God, we pray that you will prepare a space for this family, that you will prepare a space for us, and that all of the components will fall together so beautifully as they have already. God, we're so thankful that you have called us to this mission, and we just love you now and always. Amen. All right. So we have a family, and we are gathering this evening to kind of consolidate our efforts and make space for that. So I'm going to turn it over to Ruth.
And let me pull up the thing. So I know she didn't have all the details, and I sent her an email. Was it today or yesterday, Sally? I sent it.
I think it was this morning.
Okay. And she said that she'll let us know the details as soon as possible. For the green chair furniture delivery, she takes care of that. And I think she said that takes about 4 hours for them to deliver and set up the furniture. So I know originally she had said that we would have like 2 or 3 days in the apartment, but it sounds like it's going to be like 1.
Yes.
Is that one day?
For any of you that are part of the setup team, Ann Harrison, you are, I believe, and Margaret Pierce, except your name was Peggy.
Yeah, I go by Peggy.
Okay, and Zona, Harriet. I was going to say, she also told us that groups are getting this done. The home is getting set up in about 4 hours. So she thought the 1 day would be adequate for what we would need to do. And what we have assumed all along is it will probably be a clean, ready to rent apartment. It should not be a used home left in ill repair. So that makes me feel much better about any workload with having the home looking nice and clean and also stocking it for them.
Maybe you all know this, but I was just wondering, is that, I mean, does that mean Green Chair's moving the furniture in Tuesday morning and we're setting up, or are they doing that before we get?
She hasn't really shared any of the details, but that's what I was assuming, that they would come in the morning and then we would have to come in afterward. But we don't
You
even
can
know
imagine.
the size of the family. All she mentioned was that there was a queen size bed. So I'm not sure if it's a 1-bedroom apartment or what it is.
And Anne, what she had told us to expect, even with a large family, is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. So they were not anticipating a large home, even if it was a large family. They were planning to accommodate the families as similar a way as possible, you know, the 2 bedroom, 1 bath. They also hoped to house them adjacent to each other or as close as possible, and the housing crunch in Wake County has prevented that. They thought that would give them a cultural support group.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So do we need to
Okay.
organize a meal as well then? Because I know we had talked about that, like having as much of an authentic meal as we could that first night for them being there. So we need to make sure that that's in place as well, or?
I think Linda mentioned that they would be coming in the next day. So we would have the 1 day for setup and they would be moving in the next day. I imagine we could still do a meal because weren't they planning to have it like coming from a restaurant, Sally?
Yes, I think Lynn Cloninger would know all of that. And the other thing I'd want to ask her, besides the meal from a restaurant that is going to be something that they will enjoy, you know, it's food that they would be looking forward to, I think. But besides that, Lynn, I assume, might be doing the grocery shopping for what goes in the kitchen and the refrigerator. But it would be nice to confirm that.
I'll reach out to her and make sure that that part's being covered then. Okay.
And Sally, do you know, have you talked to Sandra? Because I think that we collected most of the things. I think we collected most of the things that were on the toolkit. So we're good for supplies. We would just need to have people transport it. And I know I work, so I'm right down the road, but I don't have any flexibility in my job.
I told Sandra I would help her get everything in there.
I will too.
I can help with that also.
I'm available also. I'm retired, so.
Look at all these people.
My understanding.
So I guess.
Oh, go ahead.
I guess we would need for Sandra to talk to Anne and Ronald and Peggy Pierce. And I wonder, and Kara, I wonder if your cars could be loaded even the evening before, or if you got there, you would, you know, that would need to be early in the day, I would think, to get all of the supplies loaded. So that would be something you could ask Sandra, you know, what she could work out.
And I heard from Jim Whittick. He has offered for us to borrow his truck. He will not be able to be there that Tuesday, but he said if you need my truck to help haul things, he said you can absolutely use it. So that's another vehicle we can make use of. Right, and I have an 8-person Toyota Sienna van, and we can also remove some seats if we need to. And I've gotten, you know, 8-foot reach boards in there with no problem with the seats out. So there's a lot of room.
And I don't think we have any large items, do we? It's just like
what about
household
kitchen
goods.
table and chairs? I don't know.
That's coming from Green Chair. All the furniture is coming from Green Chair.
Okay.
We've got
I didn't know
the household items.
And I know when I
Okay.
spoke to Sandra last, she said, and I'll just double check this with her, but she had said we had gotten everything we needed that was on the list. So, but I'll just double check that with her because I know she's going to watch our taping of the meeting this evening. So just make sure we've got everything covered on that.
And then if she would know like how much space would be needed to transport it. Do you need a lot of cars or can you do it with one or two or?
I talked to her about it on Sunday when we were at choir, and she said, yeah, if you can help, that'll be great. I don't think I can get it all in my car. So I think between, 2 or 3 or more cars, we should have it covered. The only thing I asked her about, and she didn't know, is there was an email that went out about bread making equipment. And she said we had some, because that's traditional in the Afghan culture. And she said we had a lot of flour, but she didn't know if we had the equipment that they had recommended. So if we can see if we could figure that out, there were several people who had offered to purchase that if we don't have it.
Okay, I don't remember the equipment. I do remember the email about the flour.
There was some
The type of
pot or
flour.
pan or something that I don't remember. I'd have to go back and find the email, but
So it sounds like we have the items, we have vehicles that are going to be available that Tuesday. Green Chair's they're orchestrating the delivery of the furniture itself. What other gaps do you guys feel like we need to cover? Because I do, like I've said, we've got other people from various committees who are willing to help, because I think we're all just super excited that these families are here. And so what other gaps do you feel like we need to cover? Because I just want to make sure we have those covered.
I had
assume,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. I was going to say, I assume I'll have Zona, Harriet, and Peggy Pierce able to join me at the apartment or at the house once we get the address at about 9 o'clock in the morning. So I was thinking if we're there and Ronald and Ann can help Sandra with moving, that certainly makes me feel good about cleaning and stocking.
Angie Cook had volunteered to be there to help too. She can be there by 9:30.
I can be there too.
Okay.
So I'll be there at 9.
Sally, I will also be there at 9 in the morning.
Okay.
You might find not as much to do as you wish. Wouldn't that be nice?
No problem.
So let's make sure, seriously, let's make sure that Sandra does not need more help, either Monday evening or Tuesday morning.
And I
Are
will,
the supplies, I'm sorry.
What is it Sandra's doing? Is she placing the furniture or something? Is that...
Zona, do you know Hope House?
Yes.
Hope House is where things have been stored for a while. So all of the different donations were coming into a room or more in Hope House.
Oh,
So they will need
like
to
I
be,
bought pillows and stuff, all the stuff that was bought and donated.
right.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Okay. So
Yeah,
Sandra's supposed
so
to bring in that.
Yeah, so whether it's a side table or, linens or cleaning items for the family, all of that's in Hope House.
Yeah, all the major furniture is going to be delivered by an organization called Green Chair.
Yeah, I know who they are. I've donated them before, so I know who they are.
Yeah, so they're going to come in and bring the furniture.
So will the supplies be separated per family in Hope House, or do they need to be sorted?
House of Hope is the house that's on our property. It's just our
I
stuff. It's just the stuff for our family then.
For this one family, is that the only? Okay.
That's all we collected for. Yeah.
All right. I do have a large trunk. I'd be happy to carry things. I live close to the church, but if needed, I'd be glad to do that. Otherwise, I'll plan to be there at 9 on the 15th.
Okay.
So do we know anything, any specifics about the family yet?
None at all. No.
Okay. I had spoken to or texted or emailed Sally yesterday about potentially buying or procuring some books or games or puzzles for if there are any children, stuffed animals, maybe something. Do we know if that's okay?
We talked about that when we talked about that initially, and they said they didn't want, and help me remember, Sally, they didn't want a lot of toys, but having like a teddy bear or something like that you could put on the bed, that would be acceptable.
Yes.
And I don't remember the reasoning.
Some homes had included a picture book on a child's bed or a stuffed animal. And I'm even wondering, depending on what Sandra has, and it would help us know, bedding, if there's an additional blanket or if there is a need for one, that it would be appropriate to the age. So I really appreciated what you were offering, Peggy. And by the way, she is a retired school teacher, if nobody knows that. So I think she's ultimately qualified to shop for children.
The other question I had too is, are the sheets, I know when I buy new sheets, I want them washed before I use them.
Me too.
Are they going to be laundered beforehand? Do we need to do that? I'd be happy to offer to do that.
It might be nice to do that ahead of time, because we do know that some of the families are going into apartments where they don't have washers and dryers. And they're having to use the laundromat, and that's why we're collecting the quarters.
I was going to say, I have like $200 in quarters that the choir has collected.
Wow.
So we could give some of those to our family if they don't have a washer and dryer. But I was wondering if we're going to wash them beforehand, maybe we should do that with, like, I don't know, the allergen-free stuff, just in case they're allergic to anything.
Right. It's not a bad idea. Just to get the sizing out of the sheets and towels and so forth.
I remember when we had one of our meetings that they said, as the families were coming from have been displaced and dealing with so much, that they felt like too many toys would overwhelm the children. So that's why they said less is more. So
I do think books are a different thing from toys, though, especially if they're trying to learn English. Not an overwhelming amount, but.
I would be inclined to agree. That's my personal opinion, but bow to the committee's wishes.
I'm a reading teacher, yes.
Yeah.
I prefer to snuggle up with a stuffed animal than a book, but one of each would work for me.
But will you know more about the family before Tuesday?
She said she would let us know as soon as possible. Okay. And I think she's going to email me and Sally, so Sally can communicate if I'm stuck in the classroom. I'm also a teacher.
Okay, good.
If you can ask her to forward it to me, because then I can disseminate it to everybody.
And you can just send it out. Yeah. I'll tell her that.
Okay, that would be great. That'd be great. Thank you.
So I printed this list out of like tasks we're supposed to do. Do we have a mop and a broom and a vacuum cleaner? Okay. I was going to say I could bring it if we didn't, but.
And I can share with you, Zona, a toolkit list, which is basically what I purchased. So we can use what I bring, and there's a toolkit list that Sandra would have purchased to leave for the family.
Okay.
So it would include the usual types of things. Now, if there's something you really like, you or Peggy or Ann, you know, a certain brand or sponge or whatever, you know, feel free to bring it. But otherwise, I have what we should need.
Okay.
Any other questions that we can't answer?
Just like to know if we're going to be competing with Green Chair while we're there that morning, or are they going to be there before, and like to know more about the family.
Yeah, we don't know the time frame. She hasn't given that to us either.
Yeah.
But I think that they come in first and then we come in and set it up.
Are we meeting at the church at 9 on Tuesday, or has that been determined yet?
That might be something we should consider, because depending on where this is, we don't know what the parking situation is going to be if we all show up with individual cars.
Right.
Yeah, supposedly it's off Western Boulevard somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I work down Western Boulevard, but I'm not really sure where the apartments would be.
Okay.
I know there's a huge complex near the Lake Med soccer park.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's primarily housed by NC State students.
Well, I'm imagining that this is probably going to be Section 8 housing.
Okay.
So it probably will be an older complex. And it's been a really difficult thing for them to find housing for the people coming into the area.
We were actually encouraged to ask anyone we knew working with properties and property management to try to offer up a space.
Yeah, I don't know anybody.
Okay, I need to go for just.
So do you know what the arrangements are if you know somebody that is in property management? I happen to know somebody. What are the arrangements as far as how the apartments are being paid for?
And correct me, Kara, if you know something different, but I think the initial plan was to help the family settle in. They should already have permission to work. They would have been kind of escorted through some of the paperwork system. And I believe maybe the first 3 months of rent, but I don't know if it's changed from that. And we can see if Ruth, if you know anything different. Peggy Pierce knows someone that might be in property management, and she wondered about how the rent was going to be covered. I thought the first 3 months were going to be.
Yeah, I think that they cover the first 3 months, but I think also, depending on the type of jobs that they get, a lot of them might be in subsidized housing.
Sally, can you hear me? Hello?
Can I hear who?
I can hear you.
Patty?
Patty?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
Oh, yes. I had been asking some questions and I hadn't heard any response, so I thought y'all probably just couldn't hear me. One thing I had said, Sally, is that I'll be there at 9 o'clock too, whether it is at the church where we meet or at the apartment. And as you and I had communicated, I will plan to stay till the end of the day, whatever it is, so that you can go tutoring and take care of that.
Okay.
The other thing is,
and
there's, as far as Section 8 housing, if somebody knows somebody that has an apartment or something that they are willing to work, it does take some time to set up Section 8 housing. So it's not something that would be, even if somebody had an apartment, that would be immediately available. So that's just something that would take some planning with the committee, not with the committee, but with the group, the
organization.
Linda Harding, the Refugee Immigration Committee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's not an overnight process or even an over-week process. Even if Green Chair is there, it's very possible that based on most of these kitchens, they are not big kitchens that are going to actually have the tables and things in the kitchens. So setting up the kitchen could be done simultaneously, I think.
We will know more.
Yeah, we've never done it before. We don't know the details, so it's hard to say what it's gonna look like.
Well, it's good to see faces, to put them with names.
Looks like we've got a good group that wants to come together and is going to get quite a bit done Tuesday. So that's super exciting.
And it's really nice to see. I did the little Bible story with the little kids on Sunday, and it's really nice to see them bringing in their money and their gift cards.
Yeah, they're very excited about the ministry that they're doing, and they've raised, I think Ellen said today, I think she said $732 that they've raised.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, we've raised quite a bit. And we're now drawing in quarters for the families that are, having to use the different laundromats. So that's exciting as well.
And Carrie, you said we're going to have a drop-off place at the end of the month for the quarters, right?
Right. That last Sunday in February, we're just, because I've heard from several that they're gathering quarters. So we're just going to have one, and then that way we can just disseminate it to Linda and get it out to the refugees that are in need. So that last Sunday in February, hopefully we'll get a lot of quarters.
This sounds great, you guys. But if there's nothing else to talk about, there's a hockey game and a basketball game on.
I was gonna say, does anybody have anything else? Or I think the next thing is to communicate once we get more information. But it feels like we've gotten a lot done. We've got a good core group that will be there Tuesday to cover the gaps and get things set up. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Sally or Ruth or myself, and we will do our best to answer them. And but yeah, anything else you guys have?
I can't think of anything. Just look forward to plan for the day.
All right, great.
And Harrison, Harrison, did you say there's an Angie Cook that wants to be at the apartment?
She did say that. I know she's in choir with her, so it's C-O-C-H.
I'm still here. It's K-O-C-H.
Oh, I thought you left.
Hey, I know Angie. Yes, I know her very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you guys hear of other individuals who want to help even if they're not on the team, we could certainly, you know, I feel like there's a consolidated effort to try and be present with these families who've been through so much. So certainly extra sets of hands we can put them to good use.
Do you know if we'll get any other families, or is this going to be it?
She said that we would get a lot of families would be coming in through the end of next year. So probably we could do another cycle.
Okay. All right, very good.
It's different groups, don't they, at different times? Like if we do one, then next time somebody else might do one. Did you get that impression?
Yeah, we go on a list and then your name comes up.
So it's not like you have one group doing 10 families, you know, so.
Yeah, you gotta.
I thought it was nice. She let Ruth know that we were among the next 4 volunteer groups to be assigned a family. So then we're going, when will it be? When will it be?
And it came
so
pretty
it
quickly.
Is one family at a time.
They must be getting people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm gonna take a couple of young Muslim women to the Raleigh Islamic Center. I think it's the last weekend in February. They're doing it's kind of like your prom shop where they have the dresses, but it's the appropriate clothing.
I saw that on TV. Yeah.
They get to go in there and pick out some clothing.
That's great.
I love that. Isn't that on Western Boulevard also, the Raleigh one?
I think the Islamic Center is downtown, but it might be off of Western.
And
but
Boulevard.
I would just GPS it. I don't really know where it is, but. Okay, if everyone is good, then.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Thank you
so much.